What's going on, guys? This is Brad with Techbuds-Solutions, where I talk about everything OTC related. If this is your first time with us, welcome. If you're returning, again, welcome. Thanks for coming back. So I'm going to be talking about two things tonight. One, I'm going to talk about the one stock that I traded and a lot of us traded within our Techbuds-Solutions group, where we made 150%. I'm going to talk about another one that we've been discussing here within the last week. It's going to be NTLK and the comeback that it's had between Friday and today. And I think at the end, as you know, with most of our Monday night talks, I want to go ahead and go over, what it is that we discussed throughout the night. If you had any questions or just any kind of like random questions, whatever it is that you want to ask, you feel free to ask away, and it's your time basically at the end of our session, whatever you want to call it. So if you are new to Techbuds-Solutions, I want you to check us out, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just to kind of like guide you as to where to go, and so you can be a part of our networking group and be a part of our chat group as well. So bear with me one sec. All right. So I want to direct you towards our Facebook group, which is here. It is Techbuds-Solutions. Well, yeah, Techbuds-Solutions. And when you get to our Facebook page, you're going to want to go to pinned posts, and then you'll go to the Discord link, which is our Discord chat. And I'm not going to click on now because I already have Discord open. But once you get into Discord, you're going to create a profile, and I'll go ahead and show you like where we are in Discord. So here I am in the Discord. There's also an app for this. I'm just using the desktop version. Right here is you're going to find Brad's OTC stocks. The reason I'm doing this is because I get a lot of people that are asking how we get to our chat group. So we can go in here, and this is my chat. Ricky is the leader of Techbuds-Solutions. He has his own style of trading, and I also have my own style of trading, and then we work together with it as a collective group and get to share our ideas and our trading strategies, and so that we all can be successful, right? Because doing it by yourself is so much harder to do, and this is such a welcoming environment, and this is kind of how we all get to learn to trade. Even for us more tenured traders, we can go in here and just bounce some ideas around, as well as due diligence and that sort of thing. So anyway, I will go ahead and come back here. Ooh, don't want to stop broadcast here. All right, so I'm back. So the one ticker that I wanted to talk about specifically was MSPC. MSPC was a ticker that we got into. Some of us got in when it was trading at 0001, which means it's 0.0001 cents per share was the price point. I myself got in at 0002 as 0.0002 cents per share, and it went all the way up to 6%. Now, I will say that I'm still in this one. When I took that screenshot, it was up 150%. Right now I'm up 100%, but I have reason to believe that this is going to continue to increase, and I think that it's going to get to 001, which means that once it gets to that, I would have had a 400% gain on my initial investment. And so I kind of wanted to walk you through my whole thought process on that. And the one major catalyst, so usually if you guys follow me, I don't typically like to trade stocks that have a very high float, or what we like to call like a fat pig, right? It takes so much work to get something that has such a large float to move. So it takes a lot of volume for that to move. And I'm not interested in something like that, right? I'm interested in something that has a much smaller volume and can move easy, so I can get in and out. And so with this, it takes a lot more work. The MSPC takes a lot more work to get the price to go up. It takes a lot more volume because of the float so large. But there's a few instances, and this is one of them, where I might make an exception to that rule. And that's when a company makes an acquisition or a merger happens within a firm. And that's what happened with MSPC. I'll go ahead and show that to you as well. So let me go back here. And let's see here. So I had it pulled up. Let's see. So MSPC, I'll show you the 8K that was released. So this might, if you're not used to reading these sort of things, this came out on February 20th. It was last week when we all called it out. One of our members, actually, I like BB Stock. A lot of you might be familiar with him. Shared this 8K that came out initially, and the rest of us did our own due diligence and followed followed the breadcrumbs, as they say. And so you can see down here on this 8K. An 8K is a filing that they have to file with the SEC when anything, important, such as an acquisition or dilutive properties or whatever happen within a firm. They have to share that with the SEC and the public. It's public information that they have to share, and they do that in the form of an 8K. So the 8K basically indicates that they are acquiring a company, and so that's going to be Etelix, that they acquired 51% of the membership. And so that's when it really started to take off. That's when it went from 0.001 cents per share and all the way up to 6. Right now it's resting at 5, but I think that this is going to continue, or I'm sorry, right now it's resting at 4. And I think it's going to continue to increase as far as that goes. I think this is going to be one of those really awesome 000 runners. And here's why. Because today, they also released some news that they had record-breaking revenue. And so they made, what was it? Yeah, $642,000 just in the month of January. And for those of you who aren't familiar with OTC stocks, that is a huge, huge gain, or huge, not a huge gain. It's a huge revenue for any OTC stock that's trading down here, and especially for something that's creating revenue like this. This is a company that should not be down here. Now, I will say that the reason that it is down here is because it is being diluted. It has that BMIC dilutive market maker, but oftentimes, if there's enough volume, that dilutive market maker can be pushed off of the ask, and then it allows it to move more freely. Now, this BMIC market maker, when a dilutive market maker is diluting a stock, it usually sits right on the ask, and this is now sitting all the way back at $1 on the ask. So that means that market maker is completely backed off and waiting for the volatility to come down, but the volatility is still there and the volume's still there. So I think that this is going to continue to rise, especially based off of the revenues that we're seeing here. There's still plenty of volume that's going on with this, especially since the 20th. And that is why I think personally that this could continue to run. So I am staying in this. At one point, as I stated, that I was up 150%, actually 200% when I went up to 0.006. But I think, in my opinion, again, do your own due diligence. This isn't something that I'm telling you to buy. I'm just trying to show you my thought process and how I see success in trading these OTCs. All right, so another one that I wanted to go over that we went over last week was NTLK. NTLK was is a great stock. And let me get back here. Let's go back to the way we discussed it last week, the way we ended it last week, was that the lawsuit that was involving NTLK. I'm sorry. And this is another resource that I utilize. It's investorshub.com. It's another networking site that specifically caters to OTC stocks. This isn't my favorite networking site, but me and a lot of other admins within Techbuds-Solutions are working on, making a networking platform ourselves to try and make things a little bit easier to follow. But Investor Sub still does the job, does the trick. So, these stupid pop-ups. Sorry, guys. I cleared a lot of things out of here, and I forgot to clear my pop-ups. But anyway, just to kind of recap here, NTLK the court was dismissed, or court case was dismissed with prejudice. Basically, they were going to have to forfeit $3 million in assets, 44 million shares, which is why the stock came down from 24 cents. I believe it was 24 cents or 30 cents at the time that they were being sued. And so, as BB put here that he expected to hear from the company, their competition, magic check, blah, blah, blah. And so we did, and that was today. So after I talked to you guys about NTLK last Monday, the stock dropped down to 3 cents. And so why do I keep going back there? Sorry about that. I wanted to go here. So let's go ahead and pull up NTLK. For those of you who are wondering what platform this is Trade Architect. I specifically like it just because I think it's easier to follow, easier to read. I know a lot of people are going to Thinkorswim, and believe me, I think it's something that I'm seriously considering to go to, just because I know the majority of you prefer Thinkorswim, and so I think I might end up going that way. So let's just look at the 5-day chart. You know, a lot of this I was telling you guys how it was coming down, was bleeding down, because the hype had bled down a little bit from when we found out about the court case, right? And so I specifically said that there was a pretty strong resistance at 3 cents, or really pretty strong support, sorry, at 28. If you go back and let's see here, let's go to the 3-day, because in our chat I was calling out the supports for this and the pretty hard resistances that we saw on I believe it was Friday. And I know everybody's probably like, oh my God, Brad's doing some technical analysis, but this is one where it actually worked out. And it's going to probably drive me crazy if I can't find it. Let's go back to the 5-minute. All right, so let's see here. On Friday, yeah, see how it was coming down here at 3 cents, and I don't like the 5-minute here because it's not really showing it very well. But on Friday, it was really bouncing off of that 3 cent mark, and it really, the resistance was up around this area at 3.433. I think it was 3.3 that I was telling everybody that there was a pretty hard resistance there, and it was. But then it finally broke through that, and especially today when they finally came out and made it public that they had won the court case. But the other thing that's coming down the pipe is that they have a patent infringement court case, not against themselves, but against someone else. And so if they end up winning that, I believe the court case goes through on that on March the 8th. It's early next month. If that goes through, then this stock could still continue to see growth and an upward trend. I think there's plenty of good catalysts going with this one, and I personally still see good value in it. And again, this isn't something that I think that you should just go up and buy just because I'm telling you to buy it. This is all my opinion, and this is something that I just want to kind of show you guys what it is that I do and how it is that I see value in certain stocks, and how it might differ from the way you're used to seeing it based off of like technical analysis and that sort of thing. Let me come back here. And boom. So again, that was basically just some fundamental ways to show you how I trade and to see if this is something that interests you guys. And I'm providing you kind of like an outlet to be able to trade a little bit differently than maybe Ricky trades. And if you aren't familiar with who Ricky Gutierrez is, he is my partner. Within Techbuds-Solutions. He's the leader of Techbuds-Solutions, and he trades primarily based off of some pretty hard technical analysis, and he finds specific supports and resistances and just trades within that variable, whereas I try to find the very bottom of a stock. Sorry, I'm talking like I'm 12. I like to find the very bottom of a stock and ride that up based off of some sort of catalyst that I see may be coming. And so that is how we trade. So anyway, with that, I'd like to kind of open it up for questions. Um, do you have VIP lessons? That's something that I haven't really thought about doing, but I am definitely open to it. If you guys think that you could get something out of something like that, it's certainly an avenue that I'd be willing to look down towards. I just didn't think, for me personally, that I had enough to give to you guys yet. But as I'm, developing my YouTube presence here, I'm actually realizing that you guys do see value in this, and it's kind of making me feel like, that maybe you would benefit for something like that. So definitely stay tuned. It's something that I'm looking into that I think that you guys could benefit from, and we'll just go from there. Uh, okay, let's see here. Just looking through the comments. Somebody asked a question about FVRD. The ticker symbol is FVRD. Asking when's she gonna blow? I don't know yet. We're still waiting. We're still in the first quarter. The last time news was released on that, they said that their um, uh, cryptocurrency exchange platform was going to be going live before the end of the first quarter. Looking like we still haven't seen any of that, but I do know people that are in the beta version of that, and they are telling me that everything's starting to look really good as far as the beta is concerned, and that maybe they just have a few minor bugs to button up before they go live. Personally, for me, I think that's a good sign because they're not trying to rush this thing. They're trying to put out a quality product. And the way that we've been seeing these other cryptocurrency exchanges kind of fall to the wayside and even get into some legal trouble, I think it's not hard to see or understand that maybe they're just trying to take their time to make sure they're putting out a quality product. So that's where I stand with that. The third quarter or the first quarter doesn't end till March, and so I thought personally that this was going to come out in February. And since we're approaching the end of February, it doesn't look like that may happen. I mean, we still got 2 days, you never know, but look for something in March from FVRD. I strongly believe that something's going to be brewing in that time frame. Okay. We see value, keep it up. Thank you. Appreciate it. So again, guys, if you do see value in this, the only way that I can continue to give you guys good content like this at this point is if you just watch my videos. And so if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like this video, like other videos that you watch of mine, and that's going to allow me to continue to do this. As you might know, that this is monetized, and so this is kind of like how I earn revenue through YouTube, is being able to give you guys good content, have you learn a little bit something different maybe that you haven't seen as far as trading goes, especially if you're more accustomed to watching Ricky's videos. But in order for me to continue to do this, and I'm so grateful that you do, is just to keep watching and subscribe. And I really do appreciate you guys tagging along for the ride. It's quite a ride down here in OTCs. It's a little bit of it's a much different animal than like trading some big board stocks such as Apple or something like that and following charts. But it's exciting. I love the volatility down here. It's crazy to make a small investment in something and watch that grow exponentially, and sometimes in a very short amount of time. I've made $10,000 in 20 minutes before. It's not unheard of down here. And so you just have to be smart about trading in the OTC market. For me, I think the best way to minimize risk is to take smaller positions instead of throwing a huge chunk of money at something. Obviously, you could throw a lot of money at a stock and it could rise. And, I've seen millionaires be made that way. But for me personally, like with this 000 stock that on MSPC, I only threw $500 in that thing. It got me 2.5 million shares. And, I was up $750 at one point. So I think that's going to continue to go up. But we'll see. All right. Do you think NTLK has uplist in the works, and do you think they will win their lawsuit that was filed Friday? So I think that they could. It certainly looks like they have a valid argument. Again, oftentimes though, a stock will run into a court case, and so a lot of people just play on that. So they'll play into the court case all the way up to the actual court date, and then they'll sell before the hearing. Sometimes because in order to hedge, in case it goes south, that they at least secure their profits. Other people like to take that chance and take that risk to wait till the uh, court hearing comes out, whether they won or lost their case. And oftentimes, if they win their case, it's obviously going to increase the price per share. And, so it's basically based off of your risk tolerance. Are you going to sell before the court date, or are you going to sell after you hear the news? It all depends on, like I said, your risk tolerance. Um, Someone asked, STSC. Somebody asked me to check out STSC. Yeah, Tom, the STSC is one I stayed away from. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of those stocks that had some kind of made up cryptocurrency that where a lot of OTCs down here weren't actually legit, but they said they were getting into some kind of cryptocurrency, which ended up sending it through the roof. There was a lot of that going on. Some tea company said they were making up their own coin. I don't know. It was kind of ridiculous. And so my advice or my suggestion, if it were me, I probably would stay away from something like STSC. But I believe they also, maybe they didn't. I thought they had a caveat emptor on them. But they might not have. There's a lot of them that got suspended for doing that, though, kind of like creating bogus cryptocurrencies. Um, Nick, thanks for the $2, man. I appreciate the donation. All right. Well, what's your scan criteria on the OTC markets platform? So I'm going to do a video about that later too. I have equity feed. I also was kind of dabbling in thinkorswim. Equity feed's kind of pricey for people, especially if they're just starting out. So maybe I'll do both. I'll do something with a scan criteria for thinkorswim, and I think that will cater to those who are just starting out, because equity feed is so expensive, and I don't want people to just start throwing money at investing tools, especially if they're just starting out and then come to find out that maybe it's not for them and they don't want to trade anymore. And then you're out, over $100, $150 a month for something like equity feed, even though I think personally it's worth it. I think it's worth it for experienced traders and not somebody who's just starting out. So I will go ahead and start to think about creating a scanner setup for OTCs when it comes to trading on thinkorswim, because I think that's application that a lot of our traders and our members use, and I think so it's more familiar for them. And then maybe I'll think about doing one for equity feed later on, if I feel like the demand is there for that. All right. Someone said, I usually watch Ricky, but you provide great value as well. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I always like seeing new people, and kind of like having an open mind that there's more than one style of trading. So I really appreciate that. All right. I think that is it for tonight. Looks like we're out of questions. So again, guys, I appreciate you tuning in tonight. If well, somebody asked, what do you do on the side? Well, I'll go into that later. I'm actually thinking about leaving. So, here, I'll answer this question and we'll leave it at that. Somebody asked, if you had $5,000 to invest, what's the best split high risk? So for me, if you had $5,000, that's a pretty good place to start, especially in OTCs. What I would suggest is that you take smaller positions, even if it's just $500 positions. That allows you to be able to have 10 positions, and 10 positions in the OTCs is a pretty healthy, diversified portfolio. And again, when you're trading fundamentally, you're kind of going back to, trading traditionally, in a sense that, diversity is what's going to help you down here, because you can do all the due diligence you want, you can do all the technical analysis you can, and you still will probably, you're still going to get the answer wrong. You're still going to get, the conclusion wrong, because that's just how it is down here. The volatility is so crazy that, there may be times where you just don't get it right. And so that's why I always promote diversification down here, because even though you might get some of it wrong, the ones that you're going to get right are going to exponentially outweigh those ones that you're going to lose out on. So that is kind of my method to my madness. So I'll take smaller positions, even though I have a lot of capital to work with. I'll take smaller positions because that's going to minimize my risk, especially when I'm bottom feeding and I'm getting down to the lowest possible price on a stock that I see. All right. Well, that's it, guys. I thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm going to start making more. One more thing, too. I've made announcements within our, and this is my final thing, I swear. But I made announcements a couple weeks ago about how I wanted to interview millionaires. Now, I'm not saying people who just have millions and millions of dollars. I want to speak to and I want to interview some people who their net worth is $1 million or more. Now, what I mean by that is that not that you have $1 million in the bank, but your net worth. So if you take all of your assets plus that you have, house, car, all that, if you add that all up, then your net worth is $1 million. I really want to speak with you. I think that being you guys with those folks is going to inspire those who maybe are just starting out in trading or just starting out in the work world to be able to. Can you guys hear me? I don't know what that was about. Anyway, I just want to be able to interview some millionaires to be able to kind of like inspire those who feel like that they're struggling and that there's no way they can make that kind of money or get to that point. And so I want people to be able to realize that they can get to that. So if you even know somebody who's net worth, if it's your boss, if it's your parents, if it's your grandparents, like I want to be able to interview those people to get inspirational stories from them to be able to give that back to you guys to get you to understand that achieving that $1 million status, while it might be tough and it might be a long road, that it's achievable. It's not impossible. Everybody's capable of doing it. I don't care who you are. You just have to put the work and the time in, and there's more than one way to get there. And I think being able to interview these people will definitely be able to shed some light on that, and that there isn't just some get rich quick scheme or anything like that. I just think it would be inspirational, and it'd just be like a side bit or whatever you want to call it for my channel. And I think that I could really be useful to all of us within Techbuds-Solutions. So anyway, I've been rambling forever. I just thank you guys for watching, participating in tonight's video, and I will see you guys at the opening bell. And that is it. Please like and subscribe to this video, and I will see y'all later. P. Smith is out.